Today we will be discussing the 5 themes of geography. Before talking about the 5 themes of geography, it's important to understand what geography is. The word geography was invented by the ancient Greek scholar Eratosthenes. If you break down the word, you can better understand its meaning. Geo means earth, and graphy means to write. Geography is a science that deals with the description, distribution, and interaction of the diverse physical, biological, and cultural features of the Earth's surface. Geography is divided into 2 broad categories: human geography and physical geography. Human geography is the study of where and why human activities are located where they are. Physical geography studies where and why natural forces occur as they do. An example of human geography is religion, businesses, or cities. Physical geography is landforms, climates of an area, and types of vegetation, to name a few. In the history of the United States, an example of human geography would be the religion of Christianity, and an example of physical geography would be the Rocky Mountains. When you ask your mom or dad where you're going, where you are, or other direction questions, you are using location, the first theme of geography. Location is literally where in the world someplace is. There are 2 types of location that help to specify what you are talking about when you say where something is. These 2 types are absolute location and relative location. Absolute location is described by where something is in terms of latitude and longitude. Before going further, it's important to understand what latitude and longitude are. Latitude is the horizontal lines on the map that give location on the Earth north-south of the equator. Longitude is the vertical lines on the map that give location on the Earth east-west of the prime meridian. Both latitude and longitude are used to specify the absolute location of a place, literally where that place is on a map. It is written in coordinates such as 37 degrees, 59 minutes, 19 seconds north by 84 degrees, 28 minutes, 40 seconds west, the absolute location of Lexington. Relative location is a second way of describing the location of a place. It is the imprecise location based off of landmarks, time, direction, region, or distance from another place. The relative location of one place is told in relation to another place and can change depending on where you are. An example of relative location is saying that Lafayette is off of Clays Mill Road. Place refers to the physical and human features of Earth. Physical characteristics include mountains, rivers, wildlife, and beaches. They occur naturally, without interaction by humans. Geographers study both the physical and human features of places so we can adapt and modify our environment. A place is an area that is defined by everything in it. All places have features that give them personality and distinguish them from other places. Human features are what people put on Earth and are derived from the ideas and actions of people that result in changes to the environment. An example of a human feature is New York City, which was man-made. Regions is a second theme of geography and describes the relative locations brought together by unifying characteristics. These characteristics may be human, physical, or cultural. Not only do geographers study characteristics, but they also study how regions around the world may change over time. Different types of physical regions are deserts, mountains, grasslands, and rainforests. In a city or town, there may be commercial or business regions and residential regions. Different regions are unique in their characteristics. For example, the Appalachian region or the Midwest America. The Appalachian region of America is defined by the Appalachian Mountains, a physical feature. There are three types of regions. A formal region is a region defined by a government or physical characteristic. These are regions that are strictly maintained, such as countries or continents. A functional region is an area served by a particular service, and defined by a function such as a school or airline service. If these services were to shut down, then that region would no longer exist. Vernacular regions are loosely defined regions that are grouped together in general terms. These are things such as the North, or the Midlands, or the Buddhist world, or even the Far East and Middle East. Descriptions of regions can include information about the physical or cultural characteristics. Physical refers to mountains, deserts, climates, etc. Cultural refers to history, religion, and language. Human-environment interaction is the fourth theme of geography. It describes the relationship between people and their environment, or how they work together. It answers a lot of important questions. What effects have the people had on their environment? How has the environment affected them? Do they depend on it for anything? What changes have they made to their environment to make it easier to live in? It can be divided into three parts. How people have been changed by the environment, how the environment has been changed by people, and how people depend on the environment. How people have been changed by the environment can be called adaptation. It is the way humans change to their environment. An example of this is people who live in very cold climates, such as Alaska, wear well-insulated clothes to keep warm. An example from U.S. history of how people adapt to nature would be the building of bridges, such as the Golden Gate Bridge. Humans adapted to nature, in this case a river, by building a bridge to get across it. How the environment has been changed, or modification, is the way people change their environment to suit themselves. Clearing forests to make room for growing crops is an example, along with mining and mowing the lawn. Depending on the environment is when people rely on their environment for something. Examples of this are using trees for firewood, or coal to warm us in winter, rivers to transport goods, and natural resources like oil and coal, to sell or exchange for other needed items that are not available. The fifth and final theme of geography is movement. Movement is the transportation of an object from one place to another. The actual movement of an object moves from one absolute location to another. Movement is responsible for the sharing and mixing of regional goods, ideas, and beliefs. This enables countries to develop and expand because they are able to spread information across long distances. An example of movement in U.S. history would be the Columbian Exchange, where goods and diseases were transported across America. Migration of people is another example of movement, and the gold rush demonstrates movement of people. There are three different types of movement. Movement of people, for example, urbanization of Americans moving from rural areas into cities. The other type of movement is movement of goods. For example, the transportation of farm goods to cities where they can't provide their own food, so must import goods in. The third type of movement is ideas. Ideas could be simple, such as a new business plan described over phone, or could be very complex and influential, such as the spread of Christianity and other religions. Movement plays a crucial role in our society and is essential to the success of a country or region. In conclusion, the 5 themes of geography are movement, place, location, human-environment interaction, and regions. All of these 5 themes work together to define countries and civilizations and are essential when analyzing history.